We're having a threesome here. Oh,
How
wait.
long have you been waiting to say that?
Oh, I don't know. It just came to me. Wait, that didn't sound right.
That doesn't sound
Wait a
no,
second.
No.
This is not the way to start out this whole podcast.
No, it's
at all.
not. This is going to be a full-length podcast, actually, too.
It will be episode 25.
Wow, 25.
That's right.
Exciting.
Okay.
We now can
quarter century.
We can rent cars.
That's true.
That was always. I remember that when I was like 18. You can vote. 21 you can drink.
25.
And then 25 you can get rental cars.
And your insurance might go down.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
true.
the other thing. That was
Yeah.
that combination.
And if you get married. Oh, that was the other thing.
What? At
Married.
25.
Married in 25, your
Oh, yeah.
insurance went down.
Oh.
Scratch that.
I
was a
waited. I
combo.
waited a little.
Yeah.
I waited a little later for that.
Sorry, that was a,
25.
Yeah.
that was a conversation killer. I'm
That
sorry
did.
about
That
that.
just destroyed
I destroyed it.
Well,
We had
let's-
Mojo going.
Well, let's
but-
get the conversation going again.
Let's get it
talking
back.
about sour beers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're here for. We've been talking about it for months. We've been finally. You spearheaded getting us all together through a texting chat.
That's
I
right.
like it.
I
We're-
asked if we could do that, and Eric said, "Well, let me try it," and we did. All of a sudden, we had it was a furious.
Three-way.
It was
Yet again.
another. Well, we figured it could work, so
Yeah.
it was working
Exciting.
via the iMessage. So
That's right.
yeah, and it's brought us together on this momentous occasion.
I know. So we've got many sour beers. We've got lots of things to talk about. We've got knowledge that we're going to be dropping. All of these many things, and I can't wait. Like I said, I don't think I've ever had more than probably 3 or 4 sour beers in my entire life. Not that I don't like them; they're just hard to find.
They are.
which we'll get
They
into. They are expensive.
They are,
for the most
yeah.
part, unless you find them in a small shot glass,
Right.
or something like that, something ridiculously tiny. So
And I mean, it's a challenge, but I fell in love with them the first day I tasted them, and that was it. Then my quest began. So
now, as a home brewer, and I've gotten into the
before we
home
go
brewing-
into this
Oh,
too much farther.
oh, we've already gone too
No. Eric's only been on an audio podcast.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
So we should probably introduce the third person sitting at our table.
I've gotten ahead of myself.
I know.
You're right.
And
Okay.
We're
I'm
very
just saying,
excited
and we
about
just get right back to it.
Go ahead. Bring it back
No,
in.
well, we are happy to welcome back Eric Gasson.
Thank you.
To the podcast. He was in on one of our gin podcasts,
Yes.
a Rough Draft, a very famous Rough Draft podcast.
Yeah.
And is making his debut on one of our video podcasts here. So, Eric, welcome.
thank you.
So-
Glad to be here.
Now, just so everybody knows who this guy
Oh
is.
no, I'm glad because
Yes.
I would have just kept rolling.
Hey, and I would have too. I was ready. I'm excited.
All right.
So
So anyway, home brewer. I've gotten into the home brewing with a
Yeah.
friend of mine and stuff. It's one of those things where you think about like maybe I do a sour beer for my home brew.
Right.
Do I have many years to create one?
it will take some time. I mean, you're looking at least 1 year, maybe longer. It's quite a process.
Have you thought about it?
I considered it, and then I quickly changed my mind.
Yeah. So okay. So why then is sour beer such a challenge to
Well,
brew?
It's an involved process. Typically, the way most of the brewers do it, they actually will ferment with the yeast from old wine barrels, typically, that will kind of give it that wild sour flavor. So it just takes a long time to age properly. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's really exciting what comes out of it.
It's really highly unpredictable too.
Yeah,
Like I was doing a
right.
fair amount of reading as we've been talking about this,
Yeah.
and just you don't get. It's not like if you're brewing other beers or anything like that, or have ever been through the process. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this,
Right.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
And for the most part, as long as my efficiency's okay and whatever, I'm going to kind of come out with about this.
Yeah, and you know what to expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. With sour,
It's a gamble.
it is
Yeah.
it is a gamble. Like
Yeah.
I said, you could do one and let it age for a year, and you could be like, wow, this is amazing. You could try and do everything exact same second
Right.
time. You don't get the same microbials. You don't get some of the same, all those, and even if, I think I was reading, I was reading about it because Russian River is one of the breweries we'll be dealing with
Right,
today, and
right.
some other ones, and just the different processes. When you're doing multiple different types of beer, like they have completely separate equipment because
Right.
they don't want it to cross-contaminate. That's like another big thing because you don't want to ruin your other beers with these other things that
Yeah,
are just getting all
which-
their stuff from the wild. And
Yeah, those wild yeasts will make definite impact on your flavor profile of any beer. So you have to be ultra careful, even if you're just brewing, a regular ale. So
Well, I'd read too that some farmhouses where they would brew in Europe actually just leave the barrels open,
Right.
and just
Right. Yeah. and
whatever
just wait for whatever
Yeah.
comes in there, and you get some amazing beer. You know, it's definitely a flavor profile most people will not expect or not be used to. And you say sour beer to people, and they're kind of like, "Oh, what is that?"
Right.
And I mean, until you taste it and are willing to try it, you're missing out.
Yeah. Well, one of our first experiences with Eric Green, actually, and one of our other regular contributors to the show, you and I used the term sour a lot when we were talking about beers and coffee and things, but we were using it in a different context.
We were talking about what it was, the flavors on our palate, and that type of thing.
Which people are more talking probably what we call sour, which we actually think is sour. Most people think of as bitter. So yeah, we're going into that sour today. Some of these things we're going to have today are malt vinegar-y.
Yes.
And really, yeah, they will definitely make you pucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could almost relate it to like the candy, the Warheads. Remember the sour Warheads that were around for a while? Almost that sour, but kind of that tang and tart.
Right.
I don't know. I just love them.
There's this really unique balance to be found there. You never know, even, I mean, because we're going to have several that are, there's different style. You could really,
Right.
you could make a sour beer out of anything.
Oh, sure.
There are obviously styles that are kind of more regulated. If you
Right.
look at the BJCP website, which we'll have a link to at aboutbeverages.com, they've kind of got their, like, here's these 4 or 5 that most
Right.
people do.
Right.
The Flanders Red Ale, which we'll be
Yeah.
doing, the Brown. What else is on there?
Well, you have like you can do a blonde, which we'll experience today. I'm trying to think.
We had a sour stout
Yeah,
that we actually
that's
tried,
pretty cool.
and that was from the same Lips of Faith collection from New Belgium.
New Belgium,
nice.
And that was really good. And
It
I've even
was.
had that on draft.
Yeah.
And that was,
I bet that was amazing.
yeah, it actually could have used a little bit more sour.
yeah,
Right.
could have been.
And that was, the only thing it was probably lacking. I can't remember because it was a blend, and I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what that was. And that's what a lot of these sour beers are too. They're usually blends of different years, different batches.
Right.
know.
It's such a involved process, and they really have it down to a science. I mean, I don't know exactly who first came up with sour beers, but I really love them.
It actually, I was doing a little reading on that, and I don't know how true this is.
Right.
But a lot of the way that sour beers, you think I'm going for a joke? I could tell.
No. I
thought I was going for a
I try to make
punchline.
it so I'm not always looking here.
No.
I try to, include
Thought
the
I was
audience.
going for a punchline. I
Come
could
on.
tell.
No, I did not actually.
Okay. No, seriously though, I actually was reading, and they were talking about this, and it was actually initially started through the harvest.
Oh.
When they would do their harvest, if they had a large harvest and they were going to be making beer and whatever, they would make extra large amounts, and then they would hold it back and they would store it. And so if they got to then a lean harvest, then they had that in reserve, and sometimes it could be for more than a year. I know, like the beers you've talked about, like was it the Marzens or the those ones that's
or the
or I'm sorry, the
not
kind of
Saison,
the
but yeah.
Oktoberfest, type beers.
Yeah.
Those were, they had more of a plan in mind with those, where they're like, okay, we're going to hold this, and then we're going to have this for this festival.
Right.
But this was more like, okay, we have this excess. What are we going to do with it? Well, we do this, and we hold it, and we sell it, because they actually
Right.
have like writings where people are talking about, sour and different things
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
and they didn't think it actually had gone bad. They accepted it, and it was actually
Sure.
because it was a bounty
Yeah.
of some sort. So I thought that was interesting.
Very cool.
And
Well-
what would be even cooler would be if we'd probably start drinking.
I mean, I'm excited.
I think, yeah, I'm definitely ready.
Yeah.
That was actually even more of a wealth of knowledge than I thought we'd get out. So that was
Well, I told you
very
it's
happy
good to
with
wait.
that.
We need to wait until Eric.
Yeah, that worked
He
out.
It's
provided.
exciting. We have,
Yeah.
a lot to talk about today, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Now, people will probably notice these are not the perfect glasses for
No.
drink. Like I said, if you look at a classic, it's usually more of a tulip glass,
Right.
Something like that. Unfortunately, this was the best that I had to offer.
That you had 3 of.
That I had 3 of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple of the smaller tulip glasses, but we didn't want that to cause any
Right.
different palate issues.
Right.
So this is what we'll be going with, and
And we're initially not going to pour a lot into these, so it'll probably get somewhere up to here, and we'll still have that bowl there till we can get
Yeah,
a little
good point.
concentration of flavors. So yeah. So this is either way, it's going to be a good beverage.
Our tasting purposes, this works.
It's going to work.
I'm ready.
All right. I will go get the first beer. All right. So we are back, and we have the first beer.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is the Sanctification from Russian River Brewing Company. It is a sour blonde, re-fermented in this bottle. with
I
100% Brettanomyces.
I actually dated one of those, a sour blonde.
A sour blonde.
Really bad. Really bad.
Did not go
time.
well.
No.
Hopefully
I
this
don't
beer will go better.
recommend it.
And we actually have this beer and then one other that's going to be coming up. Actually, is it the next one?
Yeah.
Because when I went to California, Eric told me you have got to get some beer from Russian River.
It's true.
And you have to bring some back. And fortunately, I did bring some back.
Right.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring back the one Eric was hoping for. I did bring it back, but it didn't make it to
Right.
Eric. So
Yes.
unfortunately,
I was very sad that day.
That was why he asked right away while you walked out of the room. He's like, "How's the Pliny the Elder?" And he gave me this look like,
It was not like that.
we've
But
already
it is good.
Yeah, we already referenced that and you could see that at aboutbeverages.com, a prior Give It a Shot, where we did try that. And I think we even talked about Eric and that he was silently hating us. But that's part, I'm looking for some sanctification, redemption.
Wow.
So anyway, so we're going to share
sounds
this.
like you're singing a Stevie Wonder song.
That's superstition?
And there you go.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not superstition. It's the
Redemption song or something? Or
No,
No.
that's Bob Marley.
Bob
no,
Marley?
that's
Okay.
Redemption Song by Bob
Yeah.
Marley. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I was thinking of. I can't think of it, but I just put it up on the back of the screen because
No.
I didn't remember.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's
Oh,
right
I
there.
like it.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, that one.
That's it. You know, I will tell you quickly.
We have a story about this, right?
Yeah, well, a Russian River in general, the reason I actually found out about them was at the Great American Beer Festival. We went from table to table checking out all these different places, and we came across, there was all this hubbub, people talking like, "Oh, you been to Russian River?" I was like, "No." So we head over there. That was it. It was all over. I tasted Pliny, and I think they had, what else did they have? Ruination, I think. No. That's something else.
Stone's
That's
Ruination.
Stone.
Stone's Ruination.
It's something similar to that.
Well, all of these are like there's damnation,
yeah, that's what
sanctification,
it was.
redemption.
I don't know why. It was Redemption, I think, and Damnation, and then Pliny. And I tasted the Pliny, and I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. So, after the whole Pliny event that occurred just recently, I actually took to emailing them, and I told them my tale of woe, and they didn't really care. And I said, I actually was ultimately trying to find out if they would be distributing here possibly anytime soon, and they said, we don't have any plans to do that. And so I was further devastated. But we have some to taste today.
That's the nice version of what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the nice version because I heard a slightly different version.
It was probably a little more colorful at the time. I took the high
At least
road.
your interpretation
Your
was.
interpretation.
Yeah. They probably said what you said. Your
Yeah.
interpretation was a little
Well,
darker.
here's what I think is interesting is you can look at their map of their distribution. We won't belabor this anymore, but
Right.
but if you look at their distribution map, it's like California. I think they do New Mexico, Colorado, and then
Delaware or something.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. You skip over Arizona and go
Right,
all the way
right
to
to
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And then,
I know.
they did say, well, not at this time. So
So hopefully there is another time.
Yes.
Wow, we definitely hope
If not, we'll just have to enjoy it when we go to California.
That's
So
right. And
Yeah.
anytime any of us are there, we'll just make a pact.
We'll
that
keep
we'll
Is that
asking.
the
go-
new okay,
Yeah,
because I was
we'll
saying
go and we'll try to get this.
we're actually going in October again as well. So
Were you
Oh,
able to
nice.
get to Whole Foods to check?
No.
Okay.
The
'Cause that's
closest
where
one to
I
our
got it.
hotel I couldn't walk to.
Okay.
As you heard about all
Yeah.
my walking
Oh.
stories. I walked like everywhere except for there. Yeah, I wound up in search of
in search of
beers.
this.
So this made it back from the San Francisco the Whole Foods on California Street.
Hey, I just came up with an idea. If we wanted to make a documentary, we could call it "Searching for Sours," and it would be the three of our adventures.
Sour man.
Sour Man. You did that just so I could put that song in the podcast.
Of course.
That's getting I want to see that movie now.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Well, it's funny because I think when Keith first showed it to me, I was like, is it real? Is it a joke? Is it a
Right.
mockumentary thing? And then I've read two things. They're like, no,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
100% real.
Well,
And
even
it's-
somebody in the comments said, I smell mockumentary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did say that.
But it's true though. It's like, and it's like one of the most interesting stories like I've ever heard.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
bring him back for concerts in South
Yeah.
Africa and stuff.
It's
It
amazing.
just sounds, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the first time I heard that song, that was it. It was all over.
It's so
Loved
good,
it.
and
Yeah.
the rest of the album is
It's
really
amazing.
good. It's
Yeah,
not
and
just
he-
some random little hit that he spit
No,
out.
and then he just vanished.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
there's. I didn't find the other
Rodriguez.
ones. I was able to find that he had 2 albums or 3 albums.
I think it was only 2.
Okay,
Let's see.
and he's living in the same house that he recorded this album in.
Oh yeah.
So he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
alive.
Oh, what happened to the old shot himself on stage?
That was what
and-
started this whole documentary.
Oh,
Was that
okay.
these 2 guys that were from South Africa, they were so interested in the story because he's almost like the Beatles over there,
Right.
And the Dark Side of the Moon, where this album is played, and everyone just it's like almost like a
Oh,
religious
okay. So
experience.
he's
or
alive.
something.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, he's alive, and he's like a construction worker in Detroit.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah,
So who knew?
Rodriguez, watch the film, Searching for Sugar Man.
They found him.
Now we have sugar in our glasses. No,
Yeah.
there's no transition there. We're
No.
just going to
We have the
Cloudy
old-
Gold.
The Cloudy
Yeah.
Gold, yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
The chicken broth.
Reminds me of a wheat beer.
Yeah.
It does kind of look more wheat beer than.
It's not quite as orangey,
Yeah.
which some wheat beers can,
Right,
depending on what
right.
they're using. But
Looks great.
yeah,
Got it.
I already kind of took a sneak peek at the scent there, and it smells delightful.
Should we use the hello?
yeah.
How you doing?
How are
Hello. How are you? How you doing? Not a fan of your family? I was like, wait. Yeah, I was like waiting for what he was gonna.
I got a there's a little orange maybe? A little citrus?
A little coriander in there. Some sort of. There's some other like. Actually, maybe it's because I said wheat beer, but like I'm getting some of those kind of spices.
I don't pick up a whole lot of the spice, but
No.
I might have a sleepy palate. It needs to be woken up.
Now I got the back end of the bottle, so maybe I got some of the yeast or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Does it smell the same as
That does smell a little different than mine.
here?
There's a little spice in yours that not really getting.
Yeah, there is a little bit. That's interesting.
I tried not to pour because they mentioned that they say you can swirl it around or you can do
Yeah.
whatever with it. But I tried to. Actually, they say to leave it in the bottle. Sorry. Pour slowly, allowing the natural yeast sediment to remain in the bottle.
Oh,
There
so
you
sort
go.
of decanting.
No B vitamins for you.
No,
Yeah.
no, decant.
Yeah, that would be funny. The only thing I don't like about their bottles is I cannot reuse them for my home brewing.
That's true.
It's kind of a bummer.
You know what I don't like about them either? Is they're too dang small.
Speaking of that, it's
That is also a problem.
it's a 375 milliliter
yeah.
or 12.68 ounces. The alcohol, I just wrote
Oh, it's
6.75%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe this was one of the ones that was a little more expensive because of its sourness, and it was a $10.99
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
that I paid for this.
If not, I will put the actual price here at the bottom.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Russian River at any cost worth it.
Even after the hateful, scathing email they
Yes,
sent you.
yeah. Even after they crushed my hopes and dreams.
There you go. Well, I think we shouldn't wait any longer.
No,
Should
I think we should.
should we
get
start the
into
tape?
this.
Hey, thank you for everyone.
Yeah.
Because
Thanks.
we may break the glasses if we did this
That's
later. We
right.
should do it now.
Long time in the making. Oh, there it is.
Wow, I was not ready for that flavor at
Oh.
all. The aromas completely had me
Yeah.
thinking another direction.
Yeah.
Not even. Wow, that is tart pucker.
That
like,
is
It
a little
is.
lemony.
Yeah.
That's lemony sour pucker.
And
Oh,
it-
wow.
It's got just such. I love that tartness. That's the flavor I'm looking for in a sour, and these guys nail it every time.
That's wow. I was. They lulled me into submission with the sweet and the, like I said, the spices I was
Right,
getting.
right.
You said orange peel or some sort of.
Yeah, I don't get orange in the taste. I get the lemon. I do get a slight low funk note. It's not heavy. It's not big, but there's another layer of
Is
there
it Tone Loc?
from a
It's a funky comedina.
So it's funky co. Not that
Something
much,
funky,
but
no.
it's that. I think that's the Brettanomyces. But it's
Yeah. Is
not
it-
like it's the pervading. It's back.
Kind of on the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost like a hint of like light bitter almost. Kind of like I don't know what to equate it to really. But
It's that. Well, it's not as intense as what some people
Right.
call barnyard.
Right.
It's not.
No,
that.
it's not.
It's too strong.
Right.
It's that dialed down.
Right.
So maybe wet
yeah.
hay.
That's usually when it's
or,
gone
that's
real
or,
bad.
you know,
that's
something
a good
like that.
description. Yeah.
But that's
yeah.
that's quite delicious. This
I
reminds
like-
me kind of the Bacchus that we had. It's more. Remember that?
But that was a lot smoother, though. I mean, this is
more-
like almost
yeah.
like as soon as it's even touching the tip of your tongue,
Right.
you already know you're in for a different
Right.
experience. It's not
Right.
even
Yeah.
close.
And Russian River, in my experience, has, I mean, it has got that pucker power. It's very tart and tangy. And the only one that I've had besides this, again, I experienced at the Great American Beer Festival, was Cascade Brewery I believe out of Washington. I'm not exactly sure where, but they nail the sours too. They do a great job, and I think they're about equal. Now, most of the other sour ales that I've ever had, not like this. They're much more mellow. Actually, I think a good avenue for a lot of people that aren't ready for sours to kind of take. So,
but this is a bright, citrusy, very puckery, but this kind of combines the two sort of sensations we were talking about before. It's sour, but it does. The longer I'm sitting with it, it does have that bitter back there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But because it's behind the sour perception. But yeah, this is quite delicious.
Oh yeah,
and it's one of those things you really got to make sure you. And most people that are going to try beer are going to, but don't just have one sip,
right?
Or even two. Like literally, it's almost on this third and fourth sip when you really get the full palate of flavor. You know, your palate really almost wakes up.
Yeah,
it's like bright sunshine, like it's so strong. But then it starts smoothing out. Yeah, and it's still very tart, but now it's even more toward the I'm really getting the lemon fruit. I'm really getting these other things, and very balanced though too. Yeah. You know, it's not just like a straight shot to somebody. It really folds out across the whole tongue. That's really good.
I love that tanginess. It's so good.
A good way to start.
I agree.
This podcast.
Nice.
Did we mention? I don't think we have yet. We're gonna, since we have 6.
Oh no, you should talk about.
We've got 6 that we're trying today, and we don't want to have you sit down and listen to us all at one time. We're going to break it up into 2. So we're going to do 3 for the first part. We're going to break it into 2 parts, do 3, and then we're going to do another 3.
Yeah. Perfect.
So this is number 1 of part 1.
This is number 1 of part 1, so we should move on to the other one from Russian River, which I will go get right now.
All right,
so we have sour beer number 2, and also from Russian River Valley.
Exciting.
Very excited.
Yes.
Now this one is completely going another direction. Now we have aging in a certain type of barrel. We have new microbes in here. What have we got?
Eric, do you want to read this one?
No, you may be better.
Well, I'll start it, and you can finish it up. This is actually the Consecration. It is barrel aged for 4 to 8 months in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels with black currants. Oh no, just currants. It doesn't say black. With currants added. This also gives us the 4 different types of. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 different types of bacteria that are found in this bottle. And Eric, our guest, has volunteered to read this for us.
Let me give it a shot.
No, that's a different show that we do.
Oh, that's what it is.
All right, Andrew's going to take a swing.
Oh, I didn't. Where does it actually say?
It's right here.
I will completely butcher that. So we've got Lactobacillus, Brettanomyces, Saccharomyces, and you know what? The last one I'm not sure about. Pediococcus. We're going to go with that.
Sounds like science class.
Yeah.
Michael Dukakis?
It definitely, Michael Dukakis. So I would assume that the Cabernet aging was probably done after they did the souring. Would that be, or do you?
Yeah, because it says sour ale aged.
Right.
Sour ale barrel aged 4 to 8 months.
So the wine barrel part probably happened afterwards. Although a lot of people do aging in using wine barrels to get the sour and the microbes. But it sounds like they kind of are splitting that up.
And it may have added. They may have picked up a little more of that wild flavor, that more developed that sourness a little further with the aging in there.
Yeah, that last one I kind of had an idea of what we were going to taste. This one I sort of do, but it's going to be a completely new experience.
And using a fruit is actually is pretty normal too.
Right.
Also for these kinds of things. That's another way that you get the microbes and all that kind of stuff in there is using wild cherries. Like there's a dissident from Deschutes. No.
Deschutes. Yeah.
Deschutes does a beer called Dissident, and that's got wild cherries in it. I don't think that's a sour per se, but they do use wild cherries.
You brought that up, or we've tried
Actually, certain lambics can have that sour quality also because of the wild fermentation.
Yeah, I think that actually fits in the category for this style as well. From what they
and you will see that typically a lot of lambics will have fruit, in addition to
Good sound.
I love when that happens.
Just keep making sure that I don't the whole thing explode.
And we were noticing that on the cork, we definitely made a good choice by not going with a pint glass.
Right.
Russian River X's that one out. And certainly we were pretty much right on with the glass that we were looking for.
They probably don't completely approve with the glass we chose, but we did better. We went somewhere in the middle.
Especially since this said Dogfish Head, but at least we can get their beers here in Arizona.
That's right. Yeah. And those are
Unlike-
off-centered as well.
It's nice. Looks pretty.
We're only angry because we love your beer.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it's not here.
Yeah, it's not for any other reason.
We need it.
That's like a cloudy iced tea.
I was going to
Mine
say,
is.
kind of like a...
It looks like a sweet tea almost.
Mine's a little.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like
you
a
guys
weaker
look
looking-
a little clearer than mine.
Well,
Would you say that?
You got the bonus.
Maybe you got a little bone. I
could've
left
gotten
some at the
some
bottom
bonus.
to make sure
Okay.
that, but you may have gotten a little bit of the yeast.
All right.
That just is.
I
more
poured mine
flavor.
third last time, so maybe so you got that.
Oh wow.
Definitely. Wow.
I don't smell anything. No, I'm just kidding.
Your nose is broken, sir.
Yeah, my nose broke after the first beer.
That is. I really get
you
that
know,
red wine in there.
That is a lot of
Yeah, I was
Cabernet
gonna
aroma in
say,
there.
wow.
But there's the current, like that fruit in there though too.
Well, because the cab, the
It can
the
have
red
that.
wine, and it would, because I can't necessarily know that I would say, oh,
Yeah.
that's Cabernet, but that red wine aroma, it doesn't hit you at first. It's not at the beginning of your sip. There's something else, but then it's very clear.
It almost has kind of that fortified wine smell to me. You know, like if you've had a port or something.
Yeah.
kind
There's a sweetness in there.
Yeah, a little hint of that. Plus, you kind of pick up that extra note of, that little bonus of like the aged.
There's a little woody in there.
Yeah, kind
There's
of.
a little woody, nutty something in
Yeah.
there too. Like when you said port, I think that is right on.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting a little bit of that too. Like there's almost something like that, and it's really like a red wine vinegar.
Yeah.
Like if you were gonna make like a
Yeah.
like a dressing or something like that. It's got that
It's definitely a unique smell, and I'm.
much more complex aroma. And
Then the-
now I think I'm ready this time.
Yeah.
For like last time, I was completely taken off guard.
This I think sets you up for the taste. You like the scent, kind of gives you, okay, you know what you're getting into. It's going to be a little tangy. It's going to have a little something going on. That first one didn't experience that as much.
Yeah,
Right.
The first one was the shocker.
Yeah. Well,
Here
Let's
we go.
do it. Wow.
Wow, that is unique. Oh
That's good.
oh my business! Wow.
It's got a nice tang.
and get some oak.
Mm-hmm.
Very winey.
That red.
The
yeah.
wine, the
Yeah.
red, the
Yeah.
like you said. Don't know if I would say cab. I'm going to say cab because it says it on the
Because they
bottle.
say
but
that.
Right.
Yeah.
But
cab wine, that red wine really comes
Yeah.
through
yeah.
the upper end of the red wine palette. Like you're not getting like the depth of the vanilla and the other things
Right.
that you might get out of a cab that's been oaked or something like that.
That's-
But
surprisingly, though, the amount of wine taste I do get from that, though.
completely hitting a different spot on the palate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I let it just kind of sit there for a second, and you really do taste kind of that hint of Cabernet or Merlot in there.
It's very lively. Like it's
Yeah.
that one. Almost kind of avoided the front of your tongue
Yeah.
to some extent. It played more toward the back, and those sours getting
There is an
bitter.
acidity. There's a dancing.
There is an
yeah.
acidity on
Yeah.
this one. This one's more toward the front 2/3. It kind of hangs out
Right.
there and rolls over the tongue a little bit.
I don't get any of that bitter sensation I was getting from the first one either. Like it's very clean on the back end. And
Very heavy sour, though.
Yes,
But
yeah.
that is there. The sour
Right.
but I don't get at that at least right now either.
Yeah.
I didn't mention this one's 10% alcohol.
Wow.
And
I don't
and
taste
this is
that.
No.
another one that was, I believe, right at that $10.99 price point. And if I need to be corrected, then Andrew's done so here.
It's right there.
Or he's validated the
Yeah.
fact that I was actually right. And once again, this Whole Foods in California. So
I have to say,
I'm surprised.
This is very enjoyable. I really like this
Yeah,
one
I do
quite
too.
a bit. Now that one was good. The first beer we tried, very good. But if I had to choose, this is the one I'd go with.
I am surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised because I was worried about primarily when the current. I was worried about it there being too much
Right.
fruit or too much of that being prevalent, and it's not. And
No.
that's really, like I said, that red wine component in there is quite nice.
Yeah.
The depth and complexity in that is worth
It's-
every penny.
Yeah. I mean, it just dances on your tongue. Those flavors are right there, and you can just kind of pick through and identify just a few standout flavors that are just fantastic.
It's on the exhale that you get that. To me, it's red wine,
Yeah.
and that's kind of
finish.
that's a neat treat. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying a beer and a wine.
Right.
I've got both.
It's amazing.
All here.
Like you said earlier, heavy sour, but it's not the bitter. Like you can almost
Right.
feel like it puts up a wall that it's not going that far.
No.
It's like I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, but it's if you hold some in your mouth, it's almost like a feat of strength because it really just sits. Well, no,
Festivus
in
time?
a good way because it really
The Russian River feats of strength.
Yeah, because it makes you it really cries out to be like, you need to finish drinking me. You need to finish, like, you know, because it's like you can just feel that it's just being so acidic and so, you know, like I said, so lively that it gets tough. Like I feel my tongue puckering.
Yeah.
I guess that's the word I'm looking for, and
Yeah.
that is really delicious.
That is a treat. And I don't know what the laws are. Could this something we could buy from them? They probably don't have like the licensing or for
No,
mail order.
Yeah, they
type
probably
to-
wouldn't.
No,
It's probably. I would venture. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh,
but
no.
I would venture to say it's probably a limited supply, or just that they cannot supply enough people with this beer, and that's probably more
Yeah.
what's.
Well, just like you even found with the Pliny, which is just which is a IPA or double
Right.
double
Yeah.
IPA.
and that's about drink fresh right away. They're worried
Right.
more about like the fresh
Even
quality
that,
control.
You just
where-
found out there were some issues getting
yeah, that was difficult as well. So, well, and, you know, you think about it, and I know we kind of mentioned this when we were doing our knowledge segment, that it's the time investment in this. This is all
Right.
about
Right.
your future gains and nothing
Right.
about turning over, you know, because
Right.
you're not, it's almost like a whiskey or something else that has
Sure.
to age 9. I
Right.
mean, you're talking at least a year of sitting, and you just have valuable products sitting on the floor.
Yeah,
So you're talking
just
about
waiting.
space
Right.
and barrels and
Yeah, overhead, all that,
overhead,
yeah.
all those things. If
Yeah.
it's, so, you know, there's probably only so much of a amount that they can keep
Yeah.
around, and they, you know, they keep it mostly within California, and then it
Yeah.
spreads out. But that can't make us not be upset that they don't make
I
it.
know.
So.
I know. We all shed a tear over a great beer.
Wow, that is really good.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on from this one.
from Russian River.
We're going to move from Russian River to, we're going to actually go to Colorado.
Yeah.
Actually, so this part of the podcast is actually domestic sour.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
true.
And the second
We
part
didn't
is
even-
going to be
It's the internationals.
It'll be the import part.
Right,
So
yeah.
there we go. So we're going to move to Colorado for our next one.
I
All
like
right.
it.
I shall go get that now.
So
We're back.
beer number 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sour beer number 3. This one we are moving toward Colorado,
Yes.
which is a place that Russian River also distributes.
Yes.
Just not to Arizona.
Right.
We have beat that into the ground, and I don't care.
That's all right.
So we are going to New Belgium, a brewery that we have tried many things from. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
we have tried previously another blended sour ale from them. It was the Lips of Faith Clutch.
the clutch.
right.
Yeah.
Which is one of our most popular podcasts, still
Really?
to this day.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know why.
You can
have no
go-
idea. For some reason, it caught on.
This is probably why, because it has Clutch in the name.
There's a band called
and
Clutch.
Clutch is a popular band.
Yep.
That's who they made it in conjunction with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, they're a great band. So,
Well, that could and New Belgium. Who knows? Because you usually tweet to them, and they sometimes then tweet.
We
out
do,
to
yeah.
their,
That's
they
true, too.
retweet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, they're
Um,
very good about that kind of stuff.
so hopefully we'll have some more success with this one as well.
That's right. I read a review and they said almost as good as the Ranger.
oh wow.
Oh no, that's not
Interesting
good.
review. No,
Oh,
just kidding.
not
That
good.
person must have been very drunk.
That's not good. Yeah.
That's not good
Why
at all.
would they compare to that?
No, why would they do that?
So this is the 2012 La Folie.
Yep.
It's probably
Yeah,
not the right
no.
way to say. Is that the
Yeah.
right way to say
La
it?
That
Folie.
is.
La
Folie.
Folie. Okay.
Yeah, La Folie.
Sour brown ale, 6% alcohol, and what else, Eric? You were reading something else on
Oh,
there before we
you know,
started filming. We're
interesting.
putting you on the spot
It
now.
says, seriously sour, this Flanders-style reddish-brown ale was fermented 1 to 3 years in French oak barrels for mouth-puckering perfection. Now,
Nice.
in the next little break, we'll be covering a lot about Flanders ales. So this is a good end
Little
note.
transition.
Yeah,
Nice.
and a
Segue.
good transition. Segue,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, transition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sashayed over to Locker 36.
And they actually do a version of this every year. It's a little bit different. I was
Okay.
actually reading on their site. There's different labels, different
Mhm.
kind of everything, and they kind of make the big deal about, save them, have them
Yeah.
around. You could do a vertical tasting if you want. I think they've been doing this since early 2000s. I can't remember the date exactly, but
Well, they also did a couple. I don't know if you guys got to try it. The Cocamole that they did,
no, I saw that, but I did not try it.
fantastic.
Yeah?
Oh man, I mean, totally different than what we're talking about
Right.
today. But what a great beer.
No, this Lips of Faith series has been pretty good. Like I said,
Mhm.
this will be the second or third beer now that we've had from this, and like I said, it's definitely very interesting, very unique, and I think
Right.
definitely has been worth the money, which is
Definitely a little pricier on this one, right? Wasn't it 16?
Yeah, this one was close to $16,
Yeah.
but this is a full bomber. This is 22 ounces. You know,
Nice.
we had been doing just barely 12 ounces, and those other ones
Right.
were $10, $11.
Right.
So you're getting a lot more value out of this one, but we shall
could,
see.
You could share if you really wanted to.
You could. The other ones, in theory, I actually kind of would. I'm kind
I
of
would
upset you
sh-
guys were here on the first two.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I'm
with
not
you.
gonna lie. I would not have shared if you guys came over.
So fortunately, Eric is here because we're going to use his fancy,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
his
yes.
super cool
The
bottle opener.
fanciest bottle opener you may ever see.
Does
Where did you
Joanna-
get that bottle
Does
opener?
Joanna ever watch or listen to?
I got it from my lovely wife as a gift, and it's from Tiffany's actually. But hey, it is very functional, as you see. And
Stylish,
Yeah.
meets all the things.
Yes,
and
correct.
does Joanna ever? Has she listened to when you were on?
I can't say that she has.
But now she'll have to
Wow.
watch.
she may have to.
We'll have to get her to watch. I'll give you a couple business cards. You can just leave them laying
There you
around
go.
the,
Yeah, and
around the
she'll
house.
Still like,
Yeah.
what is this?
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this business?
What is this business?
No, she's gonna want to see you on video.
I hope.
She doesn't even like watching his home videos, let alone.
Well,
She won't even let me make home videos.
because you
Wait
want
a
her to
second.
star in those.
Yeah.
That's why. No, the red light's not on.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it is on, it
Thomas.
means it's
Red
on.
light means it is charging.
It's charging.
Oh, that's definitely got a lot of that red hue to it.
Yeah, it talks. It's funny because it talks. I mean, it specifically says sour brown, which is
Yeah.
more toward obviously the Flemish
Right,
brown or the
right.
what's the other name for that we were just talking about earlier?
Ode Bruin or
Odd Bruin or
Odd
whatever.
Bruin.
Yeah, OUD Bruin or whatever. But they mention it might have been on the website when I was poking around, and that might be the new version. That it's kind of like it's kind of in between. You know, they're not really
yeah.
saying they were hitting a specific. Because I agree. I think this looks a little more red.
Yeah.
and
When
it's
you-
clear though.
Yeah.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
as opposed to
Is
the
yours
first
clear as
two.
well?
Yeah, mine's clear.
Okay,
How
we're
about you
all
guys?
clear. All
Yeah,
right.
all clear. All clear.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got a great red tint to it, completely clear and see-through, but looks great.
Yeah, looks really nice.
When you do
Not quite as much foam.
No.
Some of the other ones had a little more head retention, a little more
Yeah.
foam
Yeah.
to them. This one, not so much.
Yeah, mine's cleared out pretty quickly.
You were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say that when you do set it down and kind of look at it, you can kind of pick up that brown hint, that brown
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
brown hue. Definitely seems a little more mellow on the sour note.
I'm getting a little grapey in there.
I got that too. Yeah.
It reminded me of like a little bit of the coal scrapey. A little bit.
I
back there,
definitely got
kinda-
that underneath. Yeah, in there.
There definitely is some sours though too. The more it's almost.
You get a hint of it.
A little bit of that vinegar, but not heavy. There isn't a strong. Overall, the aromas are not like overpowering, but neither were the ones on the first one, and that puckered us up.
It almost knocked me out of my chair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. There's a description of something else because there's another fruit or something going on in there, and I'm having trouble. Is there a cherry or there's
Yeah,
something?
I was
There's some, a heavier, darker fruit. I don't know, like
I was
maybe a
thinking
raspberry or something. I don't.
More on the cherry note.
Yeah.
Like a sour tart, like a tart cherry a little bit. More than raspberry, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I definitely got that grape in there, too.
I think unfortunately now we have to drink this.
Unfortunately.
So the next step.
Twist my arm. Whoa.
They didn't leave the tart anywhere, but wow.
That actually made me pucker quite a bit.
Wow. Yeah.
That is just right there. Just
That's
like,
the entire tongue making it,
Yeah.
like, at least for me, like pucker. Except for the
I got the back. Yeah, the front isn't for me.
Really?
Yeah, the back I am, but maybe I
This was a
swirled it around too much.
This is a mouth-filling tart.
yeah,
Like it's almost like a sweet tart or something like
Yeah.
that. There, because there's a little bit of sweetness in there too. But
It's
then
light. To me, it's lighter. Yeah.
It takes a little bit to get going, and then it just feels like it just grabs hold.
It does. I
It's-
think
yeah, go ahead.
a lot of pucker power in this, to say the least. It's almost like, for me, the tartness of this is like if I licked a lemon, that same kind of experience, you know, how tart lemon can be, but without those flavors like that.
Wow. That is really good. That is really good.
I like it.
It's
It
lighter
doesn't-
though
oh,
to
go
me.
ahead.
There's something lighter. All the sour, all the things you're
Yeah.
talking about, but it's not. But it's that citrusy sour. It's not
Yeah.
like that heavy like from the previous one,
Right.
With the oak and all that.
Yeah.
It's missing complexity for sure.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
but it's
absolutely.
definitely no. I'm not, and I didn't say that made it bad for me. I was
No.
just saying that.
Well, it doesn't make it quite as good.
Right.
But definitely qualifies it as a sour beer.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
That's definitely the sour we didn't get initially when we had the other one, the clutch. Because that was more of
Right.
like, it had the stout. I think it was like an 80-20. I want to say it was only 20% sour and
Oh,
80%,
yeah.
stout, something like that. So you got kind of a whisper of that in the back. It
At the
almost was
end,
more
yeah.
of a fruit
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that was still very good. It would be interesting to have this almost like a 50-50 blend. That would be because like a little smokiness or
Yeah.
heaviness to
Or
body in there would be really interesting.
Something to just give it a little depth of complexity.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, in lieu of not being able to get, possibly a Russian River here in Arizona, I would definitely pick this up and
Yeah.
drink it a couple different times,
Yeah.
So,
Wow, that is really. I almost think it's maybe it's there's something in it. Maybe it's because it's a little bit thinner and it's not doing as much coating or something like that. It seems like every time I get that super tart.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
super vinegar.
Your
that
tongue
super
doesn't
tart.
really adjust
No.
like the other.
Yeah,
with
the other ones
one.
they mellowed in a good way.
Right.
Still were very strong, but
Right.
then all those other things kind of played out.
Right.
Whereas this, it's like just every time you're like, here I come again. It's just
Yeah.
like a wave of those.
Yeah.
A wave of mutilation.
Is this one
Yeah.
of the ones that we got for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still
Or
have
two.
I
You
still
got a
have
couple.
two of these
Yeah, okay.
at home.
All right.
That I've just kind of been
You should be happy now.
I am.
That's
Well, I've been holding on to them because I just didn't know how long it would be, and I kind of wanted to wait and see when we could get together and actually experience this together. So yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying this.
Well, this is the end to part one
Part one.
of. So we've got the 3 beers in the books, and now we're going to kind of go. We're going to hop over the pond.
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
go.
Right.
Going to go
International travels.
That's right. So we're going to move on to that. That should come out the following week. So not too long of a wait for that. But we thank everyone for showing up. We thank Eric for being here, and he's going to be here again because
And-
he is not just going to leave the 3 beers that he brought over.
I can't do that. But thanks
Bye,
for
Eric.
having me.
We'll see you.
Yeah. Goodbye.
There's not enough for you. You
That's
gotta
right.
go.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, time to go.